Hey, what's up guys? Ivan here from getivan.com, and I'd like to welcome you to this video on local SEO structures. This is in addition to the homepage template, and we'll actually call this CRO Template. So the idea here is to comment specifically on best practices for local SEO. Okay, everything on the homepage CRO template and homepage and CRO template, I should say, is applicable to everything involving local. The only difference between local and everything else is that you're targeting local locations. Okay. So we've talked a lot about what to target. We've talked about a lot about who to target, right? Or not who specifically, but we talked a lot about the importance of targeting a subject, targeting an object, right? Something of value. And we've talked a lot about the importance of targeting an audience, the archetype of an individual or a potential buyer. But we haven't talked about targeting a place. And so that is where local comes into play. Because certain types of interests and individuals are also targetable by their location. Okay. And so when you include the location in your text, in your on page, in the keywords and what have you, then all of a sudden it becomes very specific to the place that you're targeting on top of the underlying value and the audience that you're trying to reach, right? So that's a whole other facet, and that is what this is about. So cities we service plus zip codes we service if you are a local business. Location, this can be done via a locations link, a secondary footer area, a widget, or you can include it only in niche pages. There's a lot of ways to do this. Basically, what I'm telling you to do is to have some sort of internal structuring where you are targeting the locations. If you're targeting a large number of locations, it's much more complicated than if you're targeting a small number. And that probably sounds like common sense, but it doesn't really hit you until you try to build a site with 40,000 cities, and then you start to realize that you got to have a system for targeting a large number of locations. You have to have special tools, you have to have a special structure, you have to be able to know how you're going to prepare the content, so on and so forth. So the best way to do it is to have a locations link in the footer, or to simply target them from the service pages. And that's the way that I like to do it nowadays. If it's a smaller business that is not focused on a lot of different services, then I might just simplify it to the a locations link in the footer, for example. But here is a template for the structuring. I'll actually call this services structuring template for the structuring of for the service pages and the links involved and all that good stuff. So I'm actually let me copy these arrows real quick. Excuse me. Let me see if I can copy a single arrow. It might be just up here. Let me grab it. No, that's not it. I get that. There it is. Just one moment. So we'll talk about that. Let's talk about it now, actually. And let's reorganize this. Oops, what did I do? Reorganize this section here. Let me cut this. And paste it here. This, oopsie daisy. There we go. Oh my gosh. There we go. Okay. So when it comes to structuring, let's do. An enter here. Starting with generic service pages, service page lists all of your services. Okay, so that's where you start. You have a service page that lists all of your services. You have a link to it in your header, right? It says services. It doesn't have to be in your header. It can be in your footer, as long as it's in either your header or your footer, which is links on it that are on every page of your website, right? Because your site structure may have a prices page, but it may not. You may not necessarily want to list all of your services. So the purpose of this has to do with making sure that when Google indexes your site, that it's able to follow the links through the service page and easily index all of those things from any place. And it's called an SEO silo or a link silo or whatever, internal linking, and another story, for another time. But you start out with a service page that lists all of your services, okay? And on that page, you have a service keyword. So it could be something like, if you're in the plumbing niche, it would be something like drain cleaning, right? If you're in SEO like me, it might be something like SEO consulting or keyword research, and so on and so forth. If you're in pest control, it could be termite exterminator or whatever. And you have below that keyword, that little sort of subsection of the page, you'll have a summary of that service. And then below that summary, you will have a call to action button, which links to the dedicated service page for this service keyword, right? So click here to learn more about drain cleaning or whatever, our drain cleaning service or whatever. Click here to learn more about our keyword research service, right? And after that, that link will take them to the dedicated service page. Now, that's point number 2 here on this services structuring template. And what's this? Sorry, I just noticed the formatting's a little... Oh, no, it's just that I didn't put it all in all caps. Give me just one moment. There you go. Okay. So once you're on the dedicated page, you use the CRO template to really fill this page out regarding that. Let me say use regarding that service keyword. Okay, so you come up here and you go through this whole process, right? Just, what you do, who you do it for, but no longer from a general standpoint like it was in your homepage. It's for specifically this service. Okay, so once you make that dedicated page, you're going to say, okay, this is what this is for and who this is for. So if it's drain cleaning, it would be something like, it would be very simple. Drain cleaning for XYZ, right? I could have a dedicated service page that is keyword research for plumbers. You see what I'm saying? So I could do a general thing, keyword research for every business owner, right? And then on that page, I could have sub pages that are keyword research for plumbers, keyword research for electricians, keyword research for pest control providers, et cetera, et cetera. Now, when it comes to the local flavor, you're going to also the goal is to get to the point where we can list locations for these kinds of things. So if you have sub services, then you would want to put them on this page also. So you could do another layer there, is what I'm saying, if you're following me. So once you fill out that template, then you're going to have a call to action button, a CTA button, okay, which links to locations we service for that service keyword. So you're going to have that whole template, and then at the bottom, locations we service, okay, to another static page. So this is one generic static page for all of your services. This is another static page for a specific service. So if you have 4 core services, you're going to have 4 core service pages, right? Static pages. Then that links to locations pages. So the locations we service for, for drain cleaning, okay, in the USA. Locations we service for keyword research in the USA. Locations we service for pest extermination in the USA, or whatever, right? So you can do it by country level too. It depends on how big you're trying to target. You can get a little inception-y, dream within a dream, a little bit confusing on the layers. But so try to keep it simple, not think too big, because then it's hard to manage. Once you create that static page for the locations of a particular dedicated service page, then you're going to do a summary of those features and benefits. Okay, so you're only going to cover the features and the benefits, just the juicy stuff that people really care about on those that locations page, and then you're going to do a call to action. Okay, so really simple stuff, simple summary, juicy summary, nice call to action, ideally call to action button of some kind to call or to fill out a form. Well, it's not even a button, but it's just a general call to action in a variety of forms, right? I like to do buttons. Then you're going to do a links via a list of cities and zip codes for that service, okay? So this is going to have to do with actually populating those links and then just being able to paste them where they need to go. Okay. So we'll come full circle back to that, but you have to create the static page drafts, right, for these places, and then you have to build. So what you have to do is you have to create a static draft for the service page, a static draft for the locations page for that service page, and then you actually have to create the real pages, the locations, and then once those are created, then you can link you can include the links. You can copy the links to this page, and then you can go live with the other two. This is really a specialty consultation that I'd have to give on this method, but I do want to do an overview with you so that you know what to do and you're aware of how to go about it, and you can maybe do it yourself if you can gather from what I'm telling you here. And if it's too complicated for you, then you can always contact me, and I can either point you in the right direction or you can hire me to help you with the structure. So the last point here is creating mass pages targeting cities using the WP All Import plugin. There's a link to that plugin right here. So there's a free version of the plugin and there's a paid version. You only need the free version, and it's really awesome. So on the template for that mass generation, you're just going to do something really simple, and that's summary of features and benefits plus a CTA. So the CTA is, I don't think you can really you can do an image, but you don't really have the capabilities in the default editor to do other things. So just some call to action of some kind, right? Or you can do the full CRO template. It really depends. I prefer to keep it simple, and then at the very bottom, you're going to do a link back to the dedicated service page. So once you create all those cities, then you're going to link back to that dedicated service page for that particular service. Okay. So you build a bunch of cities, and then you build these what do you call it? Locations and static pages for the services. So it's super powerful. You have the ability to rank for suburbs really quickly, and probably 99% of businesses out there are not doing this. They don't have pages that are targeting specific locations, and people searching from within a location can proc pages that are targeting locations. Okay. And people that do searches with cities included in the names in the searches, these posts have another bonus to ranking for those types of queries. So it's very, very powerful and awesome traffic generation method. And again, pretty much very few people are doing it. Bigger companies are doing it. You can see some examples here that I've given. Benjamin Franklin Plumbing, Roto-Rooter, Orkin, and then here's an old template from a while back that someone shared with me that has a local SEO sort of structure that they recommended, and so I provide that as an example. Eventually, I need to do a case study and kind of provide an example myself, but we're still working on making a dedicated guide for this method, but once you get that, you can do all that using WP All Import. You got to be a little familiar with CSV files, Google Sheets, or Excel, or whatever. And I have lists of top 5,000 cities in the U.S. You can use a plugin to get cities within a mile radius of a location. You can. I have a list of 40,000 cities in the U.S. So those might be things that I sell on the side at some point or give away. We'll just have to see. So moving on, make sure that, so anyways, that's local lead gen structure, okay? And again, this is really a specialty thing, but I wanted to cover it briefly just so that people are aware of a really powerful cutting edge method that works really well. So, okay. Next point, make sure that you are claiming your Google My Business listing, Yelp, Yellow Pages, Angie's List, Facebook, Thumbtack, Better Business Bureau, etc. So obviously Angie's List, Thumbtack, and some other things out there like the Better Business Bureau has a premium feature that they don't, it's not going to be, you have to pay money to be able to do what you really need to do. And some of these things like Thumbtack, it's weird because Thumbtack ranks, but they don't have an index, so when you go on there's no list of service providers. It's just you providing your information, and then they kind of say, deliver it to people, and then people bid on it. So it's not it's not that great for that reason. I mean, if you are interested in paying bids for potential leads, then I mean, yeah, it's going to work. I like to use Thumbtack for home services. You know, if I need to get a plumbing repair or an electrician to come out here and fix something, then, excuse me, I really like to use Thumbtack for those reasons. But it's not the same as these other ones. And there's a pretty good percentage of clients who have it in their mind they need to be in directories. Let me blow this up while I talk for a moment here. I should have blown it up earlier, perhaps, but so there's all these kinds of services like Yext or Bright Local or whatever for getting you into 50 different major directories. And I don't remember the one. I had a client who was using one in the past, and I don't remember which one it was. I was really surprised how much money he was paying every month, and it was somewhere between $50 and $100 a month just to be using this service to manage these different directory listings. And I guess it depends, but why? You know, I'm not really clear on why you would want to be in 50 different directories. You know, so I get the arguments. It's not that I'm unaware, you know. Directories are very powerful, but they're only as powerful as their traffic source, which I could say the same for pretty much any website. So for that reason, you want to be in places with traffic source, but you also want to be in places that you have the ability to create content for and to build, you know, on your following or your capability to rank even better, acquire more traffic for that thing. So Thumbtack has rankings in Google, so they have traffic source, but you can't really grow in Thumbtack without spending money. And at that point, it's kind of like, is it a specialty traffic source that is better than other PPC opportunities or what? You know, that would be the only reason to get involved, you know? And so it's not really from, you know, if you're looking at it from a traffic generation standpoint, this is very specialty, then yeah, I guess so. But you have to have a very confident conversion rate of your proposals in order to be able to say, okay, I'm okay with spending $20 to $40 a lead or however much they charge, you know, to be able to do this. So I recommend Google My Business and Facebook in particular. Not a lot of discussion on Facebook out there. I don't know if people really realize that Facebook pages for business have a review section. So you can accrue social proof through your Facebook page, business page, and you can create content on your Facebook newsfeed for your business page, and you can create posts, and you can sell products, and you can provide customer support. I mean, Facebook is really awesome for business purposes, and it's one of those things that I say all the time, that 99% of business owners don't really understand how to use their Facebook page to its fullest capabilities, you know. But Facebook is a traffic source. The Facebook groups in particular have a large amount of traffic. I've got some peers who are just posting in Facebook groups every day, and they are generating full salaries just by taking advantage of the traffic that Facebook groups have. So from an SEO standpoint, you know, it's a traffic generation opportunity. You've got your link to your site on your Facebook page. You've got real social proof that Google can see. You've got links to various inner pages. You've got content on the Facebook profile, and Facebook is a traffic source. There are also people doing searches in the Facebook search graph or whatever it's called, looking for solutions, you know. And I've got pages where I'm getting visitors from, who knows, I don't know where that's coming from, but I'm getting visitors from people on Facebook. And so I think Facebook is a really awesome place for any kind of business, even local, to get involved. I mean, you know, because you can put all kinds of information there that Google can see. It's capable of, ranking in and of itself, but also it's another traffic source that Google can take a look at. And also I think Google My Business is probably the number one recommendation I have for local directories, because it's Google. it's specifically a local business system. That is what Google Maps is for. And recently there was an announcement that they made saying that they're going to shut down Google Plus, which is one of the top social media platforms of all time right now. They're going to shut it down, I think, in August of 2019. And it makes sense because they recently added posts to Google My Business. So now in Google My Business, you have the ability to create content. And there's even a website, like a mini website section for like a front-facing page for your Google My Business stuff. And they're adding more customization capabilities, and the metrics, like the tracking, is really awesome in Google My Business. They show you the traffic that your listing is generating, the searches that people are typing in, and all this business. So the Google My Business listing is replacing, which is Google Maps for those who are not following me. Google Maps and the Google My Business listing functionality is replacing their social media aspect. And it has real practical local business application. So that, to me, is the number one thing that every local business should be participating in. And you should be actively trying to acquire more reviews, because that's a big part of how you're going to gain more ground in local, is by acquiring more reviews, creating content, so on and so forth. And you can do all kinds of things in terms of syndication and sharing and promoting even just your listing. So those are my two biggest recommendations. Other things would be Yelp, Yellow Pages, and anything where you're doing a search that's related to your business and what you want to rank for any given thing, and you see it actually ranking in the search engine ranking positions, then that's a directory you want to be involved with. You don't need to be in 50 different useless directories, right? I mean, maybe you could say there's some benefit from this, that, and this, but your biggest benefit is going to be from traffic sources and bigger brands, So those are the best recommendations I can make. And I'll show you an example, a really basic example. Let's go to iSearch from. And that way we can do a search from a location without being convoluted by my personalization for my browser. So without it being convoluted. Okay. Let's do SEO consultant. This is something I'm aware of that I rank for in Fort Worth. Let's take a look. And I want to make mention also that I've barely done any SEO on my own site. I've got good homepage structure. It's clean. It's of a good design. I've done a few blog posts or several blog posts so far. And I've got some off-page directories and some things out there, but I haven't even really scratched the surface for my business, because I want to make sure that scalability is established before I allow the floodgates to be opened, right? And so just a quick disclaimer, it doesn't really take much once you set things up correctly. Let's do Fort Worth here. And I gotta paste it because it opens it in a new tab, so excuse me for a moment. So you can immediately see that I am number 2 here in the Google My Business, in the Google Maps 3-pack here, the snack pack. And a quick tip here on getting reviews. I've got 10 reviews here in Google My Business. I've got over how many do I got a lot, a pretty good, not a lot, but a pretty good number of reviews. I want to say in the 30s or 40s. Actually, no, it's in the 40s for sure on my Upwork profile. And what I've been doing recently, I got like three reviews recently here on this, is offering free products or cheap products in exchange for a review. So I recently got like 3 reviews on this listing here, just for providing a small free product or free service. And so, really easy thing to do to provide people with value, to just help someone and just ask them to give you a good word. And so, really, so when you do a full service, full-blown service, when you complete a service, right, for whatever your business is, something else you can do is offer a gift card or some other bonus or a discount for future services if they give you a review. And so you always have to follow up. I never tell my clients what to say in their review. I just say, hey, please give us a good review. Give me a good review and I'll offer you more, basically. And people, I'm always blown away by the kinds of things that people say about my services. And this is another really big piece of advice I can give to you guys is always ask. If you don't ask, you won't receive. Ask and you shall receive, right? Knock and the door shall be open to you, right? So do it. Follow up and accrue that social proof, because your reputation is worth its weight in gold. And this is a major, you either, in order to do business, you have to have value and or social proof and or actual proof and or a competitive price point. So you have to have some combination of one of those 4 things in order to sell something, right? And to be successful. And so one of the things that I think is easiest is to piggyback off of your reputation and to really make it a focus to accrue a good reputation. Not only does it result in repeat business, but it makes the conversion not only easier but more likely for the future. So that's kind of a more general piece of advice that I should have a whole section on in this guide. But you can see there I'm ranking the 3-pack. But what I wanted to show you was directory. So we don't see any directories here. Let's try SEO consultant Fort Worth. And funnily enough, I'm not ranking in the 3-pack when someone searches for Fort Worth, but here we have 27 best SEO experts for hire online in Fort Worth, Texas. Similar thing in the slug. So if we click here, I'm pretty sure. Let's copy this and let's go to that page, because I'm pretty sure that I am ranking probably number 1 for this page in Upwork. Yep, number 1. And so what's the point? Well, Upwork it's a directory. It's a directory of service providers, and this is a dedicated directory page that they have created so that they can rank and bring in traffic for various services that business owners need. And as you can see, I'm ranked number 1 for City of Fort Worth. I bet if we changed this, I would probably be ranking for other places too. Maybe Dallas. Let's see. Am I not under Dallas? Oh, that's too bad. How about Arlington? Let's try Arlington. Huh. I'm not here in Arlington. That's strange. Could have to do with my address. Could have to do, who knows. Let's try New Mexico, Santa Fe. Totally off the wall, but see, only 3 people. So this has to do with the SEO inside of Upwork, and I like to give this as an example because it demonstrates that Google SEO is not necessarily where you need to begin. You could start with the search engines of other types of directories that are easier to break into, and if those directories are already ranking, then you can get exposure. You can piggyback off of the traffic that other places are generating just by getting into other search engines. So this is the power of other kinds of engines out there, other directories, and the benefits that they can bring you. Let's try Yelp. I have not looked at Yelp in a long time. At one point I almost deleted my listing here because Yelp is the worst company in the world when it comes to like trying to upsell you. I've had like every year, once a year for about 3 months, a salesperson from Yelp will call me every single day and harass me. And I have told them to stop calling me, and they're very rude and inconsiderate. So just something to keep in mind also when you put your information out to the public, you might get harassed to some degree. Oh, look, there I am, Ivan. So I am on the first results for SEO consultant in Yelp, position 5. So point proven, right? There is a direct traffic benefit, and when Google sees that, they're measuring the social proof and all kinds of signals that are coming as a result of the traffic that you're getting from referral traffic you're getting from other places too. So I think let's go back to the list here. That pretty much covers it. The only other point that I have is address and phone number offers significant benefits for local SEO placed on contact page and in the footer. These are called NAP citations. So these are called NAP citations. NAP stands for name, address, phone number. So anytime you're establishing that type of a citation, and you can even do, NAPW, so name, address, phone number, website, right? So an actual backlink there too. So anytime you're placing content anywhere really any business, but especially local, because that affirmation of that location of your business is extremely powerful. It's just another layer of confirmation that you are a legitimate local business for that specific region because your business is located at that address, right? So, excuse me. I definitely recommend that you put your phone number and your address in your contact page and in your footer when it comes to local SEO in particular. So that is pretty much it. I guess I already covered this site structure and all this stuff. I know this is quite a bit longer than probably anticipated, but I hope you got something from this if you're involved in local business. And that's pretty much it. I appreciate your time, and I'll catch you sooner or later. Thanks. Bye-bye.